Hi everyone, welcome to UFly Simulator. My name is Claudio Teixeira, founder and CEO of UFly, located in Mississauga, Ontario in Canada, beautiful country. Today, Tuesday, January what day is today?
February 1st.
February 1st, I say it's still in January. February 1st, here we go. We are here on our 777 simulator. Located in gate 173 in Toronto Pearson Airport. Beside me is Captain Andrew.
Hi there.
Hello. He's going to be flying on the left seat as the captain. I'm going to be the FO, or first officer. And welcome to UFly Simulator, guys. I hope you enjoy your flight. We have today, Captain, 254 passengers. We have a total fuel of 6,000 kilos 700 of fuel spent from here to Montreal.
Sounds good.
Okay, our landing weight will be 172,000 kilos, and our takeoff weight will be 179,000 kilos. We are now departing on runway 33 right, and we are supposedly, unless there is any change, we will be landing on runway 24 left. Our reserve fuel is about 9,000 kilos of fuel, and this is going to take us, once we take off, we're going to fly straight to Sikbo, then Sunning, then Olaba, then Aloni, then Katak, and we're going to so on. We'll talk a little bit more about that once we come in. So we are clear to take off on runway heading 326. We're going to climb to 8,000 feet, and the climb speed will be 195. The plane is ready. At the gate, we still have some passengers coming in as we see some outside doors open. I'm just going to switch the view outside so we can see a beautiful plane over there with some doors open. So the first thing to do in a flight, in a cold day like today, which is -2 only, is for us to do the walk around. The walk around meaning we're looking for any wear and tears in the plane or any physical damage. We check the engine, we check the wings, we check the tire, we check the fuselage. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes in a big plane like this. Once that is done, we come inside the plane. And as we breathe a little bit for our flight plan today, we have a total fuel of 25,000 kilos of fuel with 8.2 on the left side tank, 8.4 on the right side tank, and 9.1 on the center tank. Now, as I said, this is Captain Andrew. He's going to introduce himself a little bit, and go for it, Captain.
All right, so my name is Andrew. I've been running the Falcon YouTube channel for a few years now, doing professional flight simulations in X-Plane 11 and V3D V4. I like to fly the PMDG 737 and the Flight Factor A320, so I'm way more familiar with the procedures in that aircraft. But for the time being, as I learn the full procedures on the 777 with my friend Claudio here, expect to have more and more professional videos as we go along. So I'm very happy to be here with Claudio. This is a lifetime opportunity that a lot of people don't get, and I'm very happy and grateful that he has decided to allow me to come here and film videos with him. So we have a little bit of a collaboration going on, which I think is great for both of us, and I look forward to making many more videos with him. So we're going to switch over to the overhead camera as we prepare the aircraft for departure.
All right. Once the inspection is done, Captain, we're going to check for oxygen. You're going to check for yours over there. This is perfect. Windows are closed. We're going to close the door into the cockpit so nobody can come in. Actually, right there, put an arm. This is good. Now, FMC, as I talked to you a little bit before on the briefing, we are taking off on runway heading, climbing to 8,000 feet, direct to DEBGO, and then we're going to make a right turn going to Sikbo. and then we're gonna fly follow our flight plan, which is already being I'll insert here. Fuel, we already talked about it. Briefing, we are just doing so. We have as altimeter as 2992. You should correct yours, Captain. 2992, 2992. Barometer pressure in inches. Parking brake off.
Off or on?
Yeah, off. There you go. And we have the fuel control switch, which I'm gonna try to bring this here. All the 6 pumps on the 3 tanks are off. Okay. All right, so let's see what's going on with the passengers to see if they are ready boarding or not. So we don't really have passengers here, but we can also simulate that.
Flight attendants, prepare for gate departure.
Doors to automatic and cross-check.
So they are now closing the doors, and we can see here in a lower screen when all the doors are closed and clear, we'll be able to have all the A green. Now continue, we're gonna put the beacon, nav, logo lights on,
Beacon nav logo lights on.
and strobe lights on as well.
Strobe lights on.
And at this moment, passenger must have the seatbelt sign on.
Passenger seatbelt sign is on.
Good. Excellent. We're waiting for a few more doors. I think there's only one cargo door right there, and now it's clear. So that means we're gonna talk to the ground underneath us. And we're gonna use the little trigger we have on a forward on using our index finger. Okay. We also don't have real people there, but we can definitely simulate that. Good afternoon, UFly 777.
Ground, go ahead.
Request pushback, please.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Okay. Steering pin inserted. Go ahead and release the brakes.
Brakes are
Pushing
released.
back.
We are now pushing back. So we're going to start as we have our APU running. We're going to start with our fuel pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Fuel pumps on.
Excellent. Then we're going to start our right engine on the hydraulics on.
Right engine hydraulics.
Right electric auto.
Auto.
Left engine hydraulics on.
Left engine hydraulics on and left electric auto.
And C1, C2 auto.
C1, C2 auto.
Perfect. Excellent. Now we're just waiting for the clearance to start our engines. Because it's a little cold, we should put the window
All
heat
engines
on.
clear for startup.
Engine setup, thank you.
Window heat left and right on.
Right on, Captain. We can start engine number 1, please.
Engine number 1.
Right there. Click to start.
Engine number 1 set to start.
So that will start to rotate the outside fan, which is called the N1. That will create pressure to the exhaust gas temperature. And as soon as we see the oil pressure to reach 7, we can come to the fuel flow valve, lift and flicker up.
Fuel oil pressure 7. Fuel coming on.
Excellent. Now we watch it here for the fuel flow.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Okay. Towing system is removed. Please wait for my hand signal on your left-hand side. See you later, guys.
See you later. Ciao. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Adios. We can actually now start engine number 2, Captain.
Engine number 2 starting.
Okay, engine number 1, it's already with the fuel flow. Now engine number 2, the same procedure. The outside fan will rotate. That will create pressure to the inside fan, so on, until we have the oil pressure with number 7.
Fuel coming on.
Now the 777, we can do that manually, or we can also have the auto start on, and just leave the switch valves on, and that will do automatically. Okay, engine number 1 is stabilized. Engine number 2 almost there. I can now put this on auto. This is good. Perfect. We're now gonna check for the flight controls, Captain. So I'm gonna switch here the screen to the flight controls, and
Okay.
you're gonna do the check.
Pull up. Check.
Yes, sir. Check.
Neutral. Checked. Pull down. Checked. Neutral. Checked. Pull left. Checked. Neutral. Pull right. Checked. Neutral. Pull right or left. Check. Neutral. Pull right or right. Check. And neutral. Flight control screen correct.
Perfect. All right. We are now clear for taking off on runway 33 right, which is right over there. And we are going to follow this yellow center line. But before we do that, we have a few more checklists to do, which is up the start checklist. Engine anti-ice. Auto, auto, auto.
Engine on the ice, set to auto.
Okay, we're going to reset the auto arms and the flight director's off.
Flight
Good.
director's off, auto on.
Set up again yours. First the AT arm and flight director on. Excellent. Auto brakes on RTO and flaps on 5. That's what we had set up for the takeoff. Okay, now it takes some time for the hydraulics to bring the flaps down. That's why it's showing in magenta color. Once you reach the position that we want, it will change to green. All right, Captain. We are clear for taxiing, and you have control, or actually, I would have control because we're going to show our viewers about the tiller.
Okay,
Right.
switching the tiller.
All right, sir. Parking brake is off. Now, the tiller, which you guys can see here in my right hand, is actually what steers the plane on the ground. So the tiller steers the nose wheel. See, as I turn left a little bit, the plane turns to the left. See, there you go. Now, we all have to do is we have to follow the yellow line, and at the same time,
Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask that you direct your attention to the forward part of each cabin to the TV monitors for a brief and important message about the safety features and procedures for this aircraft. Please ensure your seatbelts are securely fastened, your seats are in the upright position, and the tray tables in front of you secured ready for takeoff.
all right, see, we are just following the yellow line. We're taking the first taxiway, then we straight up the plane. Now this is a big plane. If you want to show the outside view,
Yep.
this is a big plane. See the turn here on the left? We're gonna go over the line as the plane is huge. Then we turn to the left and we wait for the plane to comply. See, holding the tiller in my hand, as you guys can see in the camera a little bit as well.
Yep.
Okay. Good, right there. So we're now going to make one more turn, and we will be at the beginning of runway 33 right. Now, our instructions is to hold short on runway 33, which is right over there.
Subwoofer's working good today.
Were they? Good.
I feel it in my bum.
There you go. We'll stop it here until we're clear to line up on runway 33. So before takeoff, we're going to do a few checks. Flaps.
Left
5 and green.
set.
Transponder. That's why we haven't turned it on yet. We're going to turn it right now.
Transponder set to auto. Testing.
That's the TCAS.
TCAS test passed.
This is perfect. That means we can see other planes. Other planes can see us. And alert the crew.
Cabin crew, take your seats for takeoff, please.
Right on. So I'm using again my right hand here with the tiller to steer the nose wheel. We're going to apply a little bit power through the engines. That is not much needed. We don't have any recalls. I can turn the caution lights off. This is good.
Approaching 3, right.
This is a short flight, guys. That means we are not too heavy regarding fuel. And as I mentioned before, 254 passengers. Runway 33 right. So here we go.
On runway 3, right.
Excellent. So captain is the one in control for the flight.
I have control.
Okay, taxi lights on, all the landing lights on, runway lights on, crew has been alerted. We are clear to take off, Captain. You have control.
I have control. Advance controls to 50%. Stable. Toga Toga.
$80 knots.
80 knots check.
Check.
V1. Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up, Captain. Good. We have the flight director on.
Too low. Terrain.
It's all right. We're good.
Flaps 1.
Wait a little bit, Captain. It's too heavy. It's coming up. You see?
Yep.
It's good. Let me show the outside what the plane is doing it.
V2.
Flaps 1. Okay, UFly 777. You are clear to continue on runway heading 328. Climb to 8,000 feet. Increase your speed to 220 knots. So, using the auto throttle, I am turning the knob 220 knots. The throttles move forward because they are being powered by the auto throttle. This is just like the cruise control in the car, guys. It does the same thing, okay? So we're now reaching 4,000 feet. Captain has switched the autopilot on. The autopilot is now guiding by the LNAV and the VNAV. And we've been cleared to 150 knots. So flaps up. And landing lights up. So after takeoff checklist. Gear up.
Gear up.
Flaps up.
Flaps are up.
Anti-ice as required on auto.
Anti-ice is on auto.
Lights, all the lights are off.
Lights are off.
And APU is off, please.
APU switched off.
Okay, we are already making the turn. As you guys can see here, I have my navigation screen display into a 360 degrees. Captain Andrew has his on 180 degrees, and we are the little triangle there. So the plane is following the magenta line, which is our flight plan. We are now flying to Sikbo, which is 19.8 nautical miles away from us. This is good. We are reaching 8,500 feet. This is excellent. Nice. You can see Lake Ontario to our right hand side. That means Toronto should be somewhere in there on the right. There it is. Yes, it's coming up. You can see the CN Tower right there. Lake Ontario, one of the 5 Great Lakes. Perfect. Over 10,000 feet. We are now increasing our speed to 296 knots, and it's already set.
96, okay.
And you can see right there on the left, it's already set. See it?
Yep.
And this is because you have the VNAV on.
Got it.
It's gonna follow a flight plan precisely all the way now to Montreal. This is good. We are now reaching 11,500 feet.
If you look to our right over here, we have Pearson International Airport, and right in front of us would be the CN Tower. I don't know how visible that is. Climbing through 12,000 now. Everything looking good. Our speed has been reached for our climb. And it looks like First Officer Claudio has skipped one of our waypoints, so now we'll be turning back towards the Toronto. So
Yeah,
let's
just
switch back to the outside
The
camera.
tower just clears to go straight to the next waypoint called Sikpo. We are doing that.
And there's Toronto Downs view on the left side. Is it Downs view?
Downzoom, yep. It's basically now just a military airport.
Oh, so they don't use it for commercial flights
They
anymore.
don't use it anymore. Bombardier used to be there. Now they move into Toronto Pearson. They're already building a new terminal, new facility
To build
on the
Bombardier?
north side of the airport. Yeah, they're gonna move to Toronto Pearson Airport.
They're going to build the planes there.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
So 18,000. We now go to standard. You also go to standard. There you go. You guys can hear more now the engines going a little louder. That is to keep us on the speed of 300 knots.
And not to mention, we're also climbing at 4,500 feet per minute right now. And we're just about to reach our Sikpo waypoint, and at this waypoint we're going to be turning left by a few degrees.
Excellent. We're climbing all the way to 3,300.
Is that already? And shortly, once we reach our top of our cruise altitude, we'll be switching off the seatbelt sign, allow the cabin crew and the passengers to move about the cabin a little bit. We'll be having some drinks served in the back today, coffee, water, tea, some apple juice as well, and some pop.
And it's just a short flight. It's barely an hour flight.
Yeah, so no food on this one.
It's no food, just a little snacks.
Do you like peanuts?
Oh, I do. Oh, who doesn't?
Nice.
Yes. There's so many people nowadays allergic to peanuts, you know. I'm glad I'm not, because I love it.
So while we're climbing through, I'm going to switch over to the overhead camera and just explain what we see here. So directly in front of me is basically our horizon display. This is telling us how the nose is pitched on the aircraft, and the two lines on the left and right is our wings. On the right side of this display we have our altitude. On the left side of the display we have our speed. On the bottom of this side of the display we have a compass. Just to the right is our navigation screen, and basically here we can cycle through different types of screens to look at VORs. We can look at the approach. We can look at our map, and we can also zoom out so we can see our entire flight route right here. We can see our top of climb and all the waypoints we have set on our flight plan today, and that's the screen right here. So we also can look at a map plan, and this is very useful for when planning your flight in the FMC. You can actually see each waypoint as you enter it, which is a very cool feature. And that's about it for this screen. So I'm going to switch it back to map, because I like the map view, and it's personal preference. Just to the right of this little display here is our backup horizontal indicator. Basically, in case that the two screens here fail, this one will still remain on, and this is just a backup. Here in the center we have our display for our engines, and basically we can see what percentage our engines are running at. Right now our engines are running at 100% power. And we also have, just to the right of our engine display, and on the same screen we have our recall. Basically it shows us a page of items that are critical to the flight. such as if we arm our speed brakes or if we deploy the speed brakes, a big message will show up there, and we'll also get a warning on our warning button right here. Just to the right of that,
just to make me look good, Captain, that screen is called the ECAS, Engines Indicator and Crew Alert System.
Okay.
Now, the way Boeing did this was very nice because it actually gives us different colors in message. For instance, we have the seatbelt signs on in a white color. If anything comes up and then requires our action, they'll be in a yellow color. And then also, if it comes in red color, that means priority. So that's the first thing we have to address. Okay?
Cool.
Perfect.
So now this next screen down here is basically our multifunction display, and we can cycle through different screens on here to give us different information about the aircraft. For example, we can go to the electronic screen and we can see what the voltage is, what our generators are doing on the aircraft. We can switch over to the hydraulics menu and we can see what's going on with the hydraulics. We can switch over to fuel and see how many tons of fuel we have in the left, center, and right tanks. Next, we have our air pack. Basically, this is showing the cabin temperature in different sections of the cabin. There's A, B, C, D, E, F, and we also have our forward, aft, and bulk cargo. We can also see the pressure in the ducts and if the bleeds are on, meaning that we're getting air from the engines pushed into the cabin. Then we can see our door menu, and this menu was very useful earlier because we actually used it to make sure that all our doors are set to automatic and closed before departure. It can't be taken off, the doors open. This is showing our gear menu here, so we can see the pressurization in every single tire. We can go over to flight controls, and we use this screen during the startup, actually just after starting the engines and turning on our hydraulic pumps. This is to check the movement of all our control surfaces. Then we have the checklist here, which is a cool display because we can actually cycle through this. It's basically a checklist on the plane, though we actually prefer to use it on paper because it's a little bit, it takes a little bit of effort to use this one. Next we have our communications menu here, so I think we can check out all the different frequencies here, right?
Yep.
And that's about it. We also have nav here, so we can use this center screen as a navigation map as well. So for now, I'm going to leave it on fuel just so we can keep an eye on our fuel and make sure everything's okay. We've reached our cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. I'm going to switch over to the tripod behind us. I'm going to switch off the seatbelt signs because the passengers are free to move around the cabin. Let's also brief the passengers that we are at cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight attendants will shortly be making their way through the cabin to offer various beverages of your choice. There will also be a selection of goods available for purchase, and we can accept most credit cards, checks and cash. If there's anything we can do to make your trip more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Now we'd like you to sit back, relax and enjoy the flight.
There you go. Captain, we already reached our cruise altitude of 33,000 feet, or as we say 3,300, or flight level 330, okay? And it shows right there 330. Our speed is 289 knots, which gives us about 810.810 of Mach, okay? Right now, the plane is very much stable. We are flying the autopilot. The autopilot is flying with the auto throttle on, also the LNAV and the VNAV. So, and it's taken us to all the waypoints as the dispatcher gave it to us early before the flight. And that's how we got these going on, okay? Now, for our flight, as I mentioned before, 254 passengers. That will give us a payload of 2,600 kilos. We also have the total load of 24,000 with the cargo. All right. So landing weight, the maximum landing weight of the 777 is 208,000 kilos, 661. And we're going to be landing at 172,363. We're only spending about 6,700 kilos of fuel on this trip, and we are keeping about 9,000 kilos of fuel in reserve. That means if we cannot land in Montreal, we would have enough fuel to come back to Toronto. Okay, and that's how we work. We always have extra fuel for the go around and to wait a little bit in case of bad weather. I'm right there, my camera. Hello, and I'm looking at you, Captain. Hello. And in case of a real bad situation that the airport is closed, we would have an alternate other airport to land it, which in this case is just to come back to Toronto. All right, Captain.
Okay.
Everything's been good.
Yep.
So we talk about flight plan. One of these flights that we're doing it, we're going to go into more details into the FMC or the CDU, Central Display Unit, which the 777 has 3, and we're going to be filling up the flight plan in more details for you guys. Today this was done already before that, and nicely, if you switch the camera for the outside,
Yep.
I'm gonna change a little bit the weather. This is a clear weather. We can actually show a little bit more clouds. If we have overcast, that means we can see anything. Of course, I just have to set over again, overset, overcast. There you go. We'll be flying over the clouds. We won't see anything. But you know what? We're just gonna change to scatter clouds, or even a little bit less, so we can actually see the outside. We are already flying over Kingston. Very shortly, it will be 1,000 Island. This is actually a place that has more than 1,000 islands. Some nice cottages, some nice islands, very nice in between Canada and US, right on the St. Lawrence River, which is the river that takes the last lake, which is Lake Ontario water, to Quebec City, and then eventually goes to Montreal, Quebec City, and then eventually to the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're just reaching our top of descent now. Our passenger seatbelt signs are going to be going back on in preparation for the cabin for descent. I'm going to notify the cabin that we're descending now.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we request that you install your electronic devices until we are safely posted slow. We also ask that you extinguish all smoking materials. In final preparation for landing, please make sure your seatbelts are stood up. Please take photos of clothes and any tray luggage you may have brought on board with you. If you need to sit in front of you or in an overhead bin. Your flight attendants will be passing through the cabin one last time to do their final compliance check. We'll be covering you daily customs violations.
Right, Captain, we've been cleared to land on runway 24 left, I already have select the departure arrival switch, and we already have the ILS for the runway 24 left. That means it's going to take us all the way to a few more waypoints. Then we're going to Sloca, so we're going to fly over the St. Lawrence River, having Montreal to a left-hand side. Then we're going to turn around right over the Olympic Stadium when they had the Olympics in 1976. So nice view, the weather is good, no winds. We actually are allowed to land it accordingly to the traffic, and they're going to fit us in between planes. As they do so, they'll take control of us. They're also going to request for us to slow down very quickly, very shortly from the speed that we have right now. Right now we're still just descending. We had now just passed 28,000 feet, 500, and we're going to descend all the way to 3,000 feet. Okay.
So we're just giving you a view of the outside, and once again, the beautiful view we have from up here at flight level 260 now.
Descending all the way to 3,000.
And while we're descending here, we're going to switch over back to our overhead panel and just talk to you about our center pedestal here, the center console. So on the left here we have our trim. Basically it's our pitch trim, and that's setting the attitude of the aircraft. Pretty consistently there. We have our speed brakes here, and this is going to help us drop speed as we're coming in for descent, because as we go down, we also increase speed. So we have to hold the speed of right now 280, which we're doing just fine, but later on in the flight when we have to slow down to 200 knots, we'll be making use of this useful tool here. To the right we have controls over both engines. This is controlling the throttle of the engine, and these are our thrust reversers. Once we touch down, we pull these up, and that will engage our thrust reverse. There's two buttons here right in front of the throttle quadrants, and this one is for our toga. Basically it's our takeoff and go around buttons, and we enable this when we're taking off or we're going around, and that will make sure that the plane is set to full power based on our climb configuration set in our FMC. Just below we have our fuel cutoff switches, so we don't want to touch these at all during flight, but when we're on the ground and starting the airplanes, this is the switch that we switch to get fuel fed into the engine once the engine is spinning just enough for it to catch. Once we land, we'll be turning these off to turn off our engines. Over to the right we have our flaps, and basically these are things that extend out of the wing and provide us more lift and increased drag. So these will help us to slow down, but also have enough lift so the plane doesn't fall out of the sky, and that will make sure we achieve the proper landing speed for this aircraft when we're coming in for our landing. And that's about it. Here on the left side again we have our parking brake, so that's going to be basically just when we're on the ground, you're setting our parking brake. It's like the handbrake on a car, so the plane doesn't move while chocks are being inserted or taken out. That's pretty much it. There's not much else too much here. We have just a mouse pad, and that's for accessing the center screen that we showed you earlier on today's flight. On the right side here, closer to Claudio, you want to explain what this one is?
That's for the alternate flaps in case we lose the hydraulics, and we can use the hydraulics on the flaps. So we can switch it over here, and we can actually do manually using the RAM, okay, which I need to find it again, right there, the RAM air turbine, right here. So this is a little device that actually, if we lose electricity, we can actually have some main electricity into the cockpit using the little device that opens it up and has a little turbine fan to generate power for us. So in that case, we cannot use the flaps on a normal way. We have to use the alternative flaps arm. So if I switch that on, and you can see, for us not to make a mistake, has a little cover. If I switch that on, it shows the flaps in a different way. It takes a little longer for the flap to go down because we don't have much power. But we still will go, and we'll be able to do here manually, one at a time. Okay? So we're not going to do now. We're going to switch it back to off. Now shows the flaps in up position.
Okay, we're going to switch back to our tripod cam here so you can see an overview of the cockpit as we are descending through flight level 180. And I believe we'll be having to switch back to standard pressure for this one.
Right on, we reach 18. There you go. Standard. Now we're going to 2992.
So our speed is being kept pretty good here. So for Epitool, we're supposed to be at flight level 15768, and we are right on the diamond here, so that looks like we're okay. For Alnov, we gotta be to 158, and Sloka is gonna be 202, 3,000 feet. So I think we should do a manual descent here now.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna follow the flight plan for now. We are gonna be entering. As we turn left, we're going to be entering the downwind. And as you can see outside, Montreal is right there.
Switching to outside view.
So Montreal is out there. And I think it shows my red laser.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Okay, going back to tripod now. Okay, so we're still descending here, flight level 155.
Reaching 15,000 feet. We are already slowing it down to 280. As you can see here, that it shows our speed already set to 280.
Right.
We are flying straight to Sloka. Sloka is 33 nautical miles away from us. And right now we are just below 15,000, and we're gonna be right there at 3,000 feet. And that's that little green arch line telling exactly where we're gonna be, supposedly where we are supposed to be.
So I'm just curious here, on the FMC it says 202/3000. So is 202 the speed we have to be at before we get to the waypoint?
Yeah,
or after
it
the
will
waypoint?
do that automatically as it is following. So
Okay.
we'll be at 200 knots there unless the tower tells us otherwise. Okay? They might slow us down a little bit more, or they might let us go a little faster. It depends on the traffic at the airport at the moment.
Got it. We're going back to the outside view here as we enjoy the beautiful views of our descent. I think we'll be within 20 minutes of our landing here, so I'm going to alert the cabin that we're 20 minutes to landing.
Cabin crew, 20 minutes to landing.
This one is before or after landing?
This one here is for approach.
Yeah.
This is 10 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
What about this one?
This one is just to alert the crew to sit.
Okay, so that's when we're landing.
Yeah, something.
Cabin crew, take your seats for landing, please.
Look how that perfectly. So what we will do when we get a little closer is the tower will tell us to do so. You see, we are coming a little close, but the reason we have these, we can actually see Montreal right there. Okay, so what we'll do very shortly is I will change a little bit of headings like that, or if you turn once to your left, see, that's the runway.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of a smoother
Okay,
turn.
we'll bet a better turn. But for now, we'll just fly here so we can see Montreal. 10,000, we're already slowing down to 240.
Yep, and it doesn't look like we'll be needing to use speed brakes right now as we are below the glide slope and the aircraft is leveling out.
It's good.
So we are reaching 10,000 feet. I'm going to turn on our landing lights now.
Perfect.
And our passenger seatbelt signs are confirmed on there.
And we're gonna make a slightly right turn heading 060. And that is Montreal right there in front of us.
Okay, so according to our map here, we're going to be at 3,000 feet, 40 nautical miles out.
It will correct.
Yeah.
See, it will correct. It's following the flag. As long as we have the VNAV on, it will correct. See how it picks it again?
Yep. See that now. So we're going back to the outside camera as we fly over Montreal.
Montreal is right there. Oh, there's another plane right below us. Now we can see a little better.
Oh yeah, I see the light.
It's 1,800 feet below us, and it shows right there, 16. Another one coming up from that side over there, but he's even a little bit below us. There you go.
That's close.
That's another one there.
Oh yeah.
See, can you see Montreal right there?
Yep, camera's on the outside right now, so who's going to see Montreal?
See how it's beauty, how the plane controls the speed?
Yep.
Now, right now, the plane is following the flight plan on regarding below 10,000 feet, maximum 240, 250. See, but if you click it here, you'll disconnect. You don't need to. It will disconnect from the FMC here, and then you have control manual. Okay, that's all. That's all it is. Right now, it's following, and you can see the little blanket there. It's following that blanket. No more than 260, no less than 230. So let's find out what a minimum speed will be. So let's go to the, we can do it here so they can see it. For the initial reference button right there. There you go. So with full flaps, we have a 130, and then we're gonna set as a reference speed, and you can see your ref speed right there.
Got it. So I noticed that just before landing, you like to turn off the flight director. Why is that?
That is protocol to give you clearance. That is protocol to give you clearance. I'll keep mine on, and you have yours up. Okay. We're supposed to switch everything off so I can set up the plane for a possibility of go around. Okay. And we're gonna actually talk about this now. In case of go around, we're gonna go to legs. Okay. In case of misapproach, we're gonna fly runway heading to intercept vessel, and we're gonna keep at 3,000 feet, and then we're gonna wait for instructions to what to do. See? Almost there. Now I'm gonna switch it here. See? We're still flying straight.
Yep, we're still on heading home. So Claudio has just set our heading for 329. And he's actually just executed the waypoint in the FMC. So now we're not actually flying on a heading hold, we're just taking a direct route to slope up. That's why our aircraft is turning left now. So
And the tower just told us to slow down to 200 knots.
Okay, so I'm doing manually on the MCP here. We're heading to 100 knots. 100 knots is set. And we're not losing any speed, so I want to deploy the speed brakes.
We got the warning, speed brake is extended. Have the caution lights on, which you do know that. So deploy it a little bit more, Captain. And keep your hand on it, so you won't forget that the speed brake is on.
Looks like the glide slope is alive. Localize it.
Localizer is on. We're descending, we're good.
Flaps one.
Flaps 1. Slow down to 180, that will be the tower telling us to slow down to 180. And flaps 5.
Flaps one.
And our approach is on.
Showing you the outside once again here before we stay in the cockpit for our landing. So we're going to do one more left turn here and we should be aligned with our runway, which is going to be coming in pretty soon.
Okay. Seatbelt signs on. Altimeter is set.
Altimeter is set.
Auto brakes on 2.
Auto brakes set to 2.
Arrival briefing, we already talked about it. And the minimums is set. We are now making a final turn.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We have
this time we
localizer
will
light
store
plus
any electronic
localizer. This is
devices
good.
until we are safely parked at the gate, as use of such devices could interfere with the electronic landing equipment on board the aircraft.
And that's
In
the
front of
Olympic
preparation
Stadium I told you
planning,
about it,
please
right over
ensure your
there.
seatbelts are securely
That is it.
fastened, your seatbacks are in
Olympic
aircraft
Stadium.
position, and your tray
Okay.
tables are
That's to the
stowed.
left.
Any hand luggage should be underneath the seat in front of you or placed in the overhead locker. The flight attendants will be passing through the cabin one last time to complete their final compliance check and to collect any remaining caps or glasses.
Reduce speed to 150.
150 on speed. Should we put landing gear down?
As soon as we have flaps 20 and green.
Okay.
We wait for that position first. Flaps 20 and green, landing gear down.
Landing gear
So
down.
now I'm going to switch for the outside view. We can actually forward the brakes. It's good.
I was just having them armed.
Okay, see it? Once the landing gears are down and locked, you see here that will change to down and green. If it doesn't, we have to do it again, or we cannot land before that.
Radio altimeter.
Speed brake is on. We're now going to go into our final speed, which is 130 plus 5.
130 plus 5, 135.
And one flaps on 30.
Flaps 30. We didn't set minimums.
Runway lights we did. Oh no, we didn't. Minimums is going to be
500.
500. Okay, alert the crew for landing.
Cabin crew, take your seats for landing, please.
Okay, we are good on glide.
And landings, we have before landing checklist. Lights are on,
Lights on.
gear,
Down.
flaps,
Set to 30.
speed brake,
Set to 2.
speed, auto brake,
Armed auto brakes set to 2.
and speed brake is on. Before landing checklist complete, we have perfect descent to runway 24. Runway 24 is about 10 nautical miles away from us, and it's right over there.
So showing you guys the outside
Five-
view one more
five
time
nautical
as we
miles.
have time a little bit here. Then once we're ready to go, we're just going to switch over back to our tripod, and we're going to be taking manual control of the plane now. Okay, this is my plane now. You okay?
Yep, I am just getting the checklist. You have control?
I have control. Flight director on. Off.
Yes.
Traffic.
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 Directly ahead, coming right over us.
Yeah, he's flying above us.
1,000.
It's good. Runway is right in front of you, okay? Excellent.
Approaching 2-4 left.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Okay, minimums. Runway in sight?
Confirm landing.
You got it. That means the runway is clear, and we both see the runway, so it's a teamwork.
400.
Excellent.
$300. 200. 100.
Autopilot disengaged. Going idle.
50.
up a bit.
40, 30,
Perfect.
20,
There, Captain.
10.
Excellent. Reverse across.
Reverse is enabled.
Nose down. It's a perfect landing. Now all we do is we kind of put the hand behind our ears, just waiting for the clapping from the passengers. Not anymore.
Approaching.
They used to do the
0,
clappings, not
6,
anymore.
right.
Passengers are shy. Captain, keep going straight. There you go.
Flaps up, speed brake is...
Yeah, just keep it, let that with me, Captain. Let it go the brakes on your feet. Perfect. Forward a little bit. The terminal is right in front of us, right over there.
Okay, I'm going to switch back to the outside view so you guys get a better view of our taxi here. We're going 20 knots on the ground speed right now, and I'm going to keep it at this rate, so throttle to idle.
This is good. We're coming up
Approaching
here
2,
on the first taxiway, high-speed taxiway exit to the right.
Okay, we're going to use the tiller now.
The speed. Speed is good.
And going back to the tripod.
So we clear to the terminal. Flaps up, landing lights off, runway lights on.
Can you do the after landing briefing for the passengers?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it will take the captain a few moments to taxi to the gate, and we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off and the aircraft comes to a complete stop at the gate. That will be the only indication that it is safe to get up and move about the cabin. We also ask that you keep the aisle clear of any hand luggage. This is the termination of our flight, so we ask that you check the seatback pockets and overhead lockers for any articles you may have brought with you. Extra care should be taken when opening overhead lockers, as some items may have shifted during our flight. On behalf of the captain and his crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us and wish you all a pleasant stay. Thank you.
Can you show me where to?
Okay, right here, Captain.
All right.
To the right. We are going to stop here on that gate.
Okay. So we should start turning
There you
left
go.
now.
So I'm going to start the APU. APU is starting it. Nice, perfect, right here. Excellent. APU is on. Anti-ice off. We have the radar off already and flaps up. Bonjour, messieurs and mademoiselles. Bonjour. That's pretty much my friend.
Okay, and we're going to stop right here, set parking brake.
Set parking brake.
Switch over to the overhead panel so we can show you what's going on in the center here.
Right on. So that means the APU is running.
Use running.
We can shut down engine number 1.
Okay.
So
turn
lift
off
and
two.
flick it down. Engine number 2, lift and flick it down.
Same time, we're going to set the seatbelt signs to off, because the passengers are pretty antsy to get off the plane.
Yes, they are. We're now going to start to turn the hydraulic pumps, C1, C2 up, and we go to excellent. And the fuel pumps up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is good. We're now going to turn the taxi and the strobe lights off. Beacon.
No, we should leave beacon on for the APU, no?
Yes, we should. We can turn off the logo, the wings, and the nav. Right on. So, and then we can actually open the door behind us and put the parking brake into off position, as they already have the shots they told us.
There's one more exterior shot.
There you go. One exterior shot of our beautiful plane over there. Doors being opened already. The cargo guys are already there to take the luggage. Beautiful.
Uh-oh. Doors just closed, I think, because
They
we have
just
the beacon
closed.
light.
Yeah, they just closed. They're coming up. They're coming up. Actually, we're also going to make sure that everything is unlocked for them. And there they are. Now they open all the doors. This is cool. Look at that. And by just going to the other side of the plane, right there, we can see also the doors being opened. We're good. This will complete our flight for today, folks. Captain, very good flight. Excellent flight. So let me just say the final remarks for everybody, guys. Thank you very much for joining us in this flight. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do so, send us your comments to us. We really appreciate that. We had a lot of great time today here flying with my good captain here, Andrew. He did an excellent job. Very good, nice and smooth flight. We're going to do another one next week. We don't know where yet, but we very shortly will let you know. Please follow us on the flight. Let us know how you guys enjoying it. If you have any questions, please send it to us. We'll be glad to answer that. And once again, my name is Claudio Teixeira. I am the founder and CEO of UFly Simulator located in Mississauga, nearby CYYZ or Pearson Airport. Anytime we can have a session here flying a sim. I hope you enjoy your flight today and have a good afternoon, guys. See you next time.
And signing off here as well, Andrew from Falconer YouTube channel, and hopefully the next few flights we'll be getting more and more professional as we get both get acquainted with each other, get more used to the recording equipment and the equipment we're using to fly today. So lots to look forward to, and a lot of more exotic destinations to explore in this beautiful 777. Once again, Claudio's information for his business will be linked in the description, and you'll also see it on the intro and outro cards for this video. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care. Good night.
Okay.
Very good, man.
Not bad.